Three lines from the bottom on AyinBase 6. We've gone through quite a struggle just to focus in and have some kind of an identity what is meant by an etzem. Etzem HaNefesh is higher than Yechidah. What is this? What is the implication of that word etzem? So we explained that etzem means that it is not in context. It is not context dependent. So we discussed this yesterday quite extensively. And being that it's not context dependent, therefore the whole phenomenon, the whole idea of oyer, emanation, does not relate to it. Oyer means that there is a context, there is a surrounding, there is a context in which it is present. And this is ultimately the question that this whole discussion is leading to point out that the phenomenon of oyer is sort of an anomaly. How does oyer come from an etzem? So we discussed nefesh. Now another illustration of the union for etzem. V'cheinu b'shemesh. The same is true in the shemesh, in the sun. The etzem hashemesh, with the etzem of the shemesh. Einei b'metzius oyer adayin. It is not as yet, meaning it has not yet evolved to the point where it should be called oyer. It's an etzem. V'nimtzu mimenu oyer. And yet oyer comes forth from it. But the shemesh itself is not oyer. This we have discussed many times. Again, we have a difficulty to focus in because we are used to thinking of the shemesh exclusively as an oil producing thing. So we discussed and pointed out for oil by definition means oil means light. Light means that it can illuminate darkness. It is not darkness. It does make light. They pointed out that shemesh is etzem behiri. He's in essence a behiri. Etzem behiri does not know that such thing as darkness exists. Therefore, the whole phenomenon of oyer, the concept of oyer, is strange to the shemesh. Because darkness doesn't exist. The so to speak, the hands-on type of illustration of this concept. It's only, like I said, a hands-on concept. The Gemara says, "Shiraga b'tiharo mayahani," a candlelight. B'tiharo in midday, mayahani. What service does it provide? Why not? It's a small light. What's the explanation? Maya Hani. To explain, Tihara, when you talk about midday, the principle of midday, in the brightness of the sun, the light in the time of in the brightness of the sun cannot be related and referred to as light that illuminates and makes you see, as you said, makes you see across the street, makes you see an object. Because that light does not make it cannot be identified in that context. That light eliminates darkness. Seeing things in that light is not some kind of a specific accomplishment. You see an object not because it is being shown upon. There is no darkness, so you see everything. The whole darkness, darkness is eliminated. This what Imam says. Shraga b'tihara maya shraga, a candlelight, is a light that illuminates. B'tihara in the platform, but illumination is totally superfluous. So therefore, Maya. This is the concept, conceptually, what we mean by etzem. Etzem means the reality, the essential reality of something, that when its opposite doesn't exist, or its absence doesn't exist. It's meant to etzem. So we can go on with illustration, but I think it's clear at this point. So the Shemesh, Etzem HaShemesh, Ein Metzius Hayir. It's not the Metzius Hayir Adayin. And the reason he puts in the word Adayin, because Shemesh, in fact, does have Hayir. It does illuminate. But Ein B'Metzius Hayir Adayin, it has not yet devolved, it had reduced to such a level that it should be Metzius Oir. Because, as you said, in the Shemesh, darkness doesn't exist. But Nimtzu mimenu Oir, and yet Oir comes forth from it. And this is our question. How does Oir come from something that does not have Oir? This is similar to Eish HaYesoidi, the fundamental fire, the elemental fire. This element of fire says Eish, and there are four elements: Eish, Ruach, Mayim, and Ofer. So these four elements, Eish is one of the four basic elements. That Eish HaYesoidi Einoi Cham v'Einoi Oir. It is not hot and it is not light. V'im lo yikein, for if it were not so, then it would be he would burn burn away the world, because it is a fundamental, which means it's elemental. It's everywhere. You will burn the world away. And it would also be illuminating at night. I'll come back to discuss this in a moment. So this Eish HaYesoidi is not Cham and it's not Oir, because if it were Cham and it were Oir, then it would overdo its function as heat. It would burn away the world, and it will illuminate at night. There will be no such thing as night, because this is the elemental fire, which means it is everywhere. This is the element, the fundamental element of everything. And yet still, mimenu ho'eish ha'meir u'mechamer. From this Eish HaYesoidi comes forth the fire ha'meir that illuminates u'mechamer and heats and warms up in heat. Even though it itself does not consist of these elements at all. It's called the elemental Eish. Again, we are faced with an extremely difficult point to focus into. What is Yisoid Eish HaYisoid mean? The elemental fire. Fire is an active state. What does the element of fire mean? We'll take, so to speak, a broad perspective. The Rambam says, Yisoid HaYisoid Amud HaChochmas Sheyesh Lo Motzei Rishon. To know that there's a Motzei Rishon, this is the Yisoid, the foundation of all foundations. What does that mean? Foundation of all foundations. And that begins before Chochmah, Amud HaChochmas. So this is Inyan which is recurring by us, we discuss it all the time. I'll focus in on the Rama for a few moments and then we'll go back to this. He said the Amud HaChochmas. What is Chochmah? Chochmah is like sight. Sight is a unique quality. In that, on the one hand, it's very clear. You see everything in front of you, and there is no experience associated with it. It's not like touch. There's some kind of effect. Sight has no effect. There's no experience associated with it. And sight is an intangible phenomenon. We discuss this all the time, and as much as we speak about it. Chochmah is also an intangible thing, that's a beetle. How can one relate to something which is intangible and say, oh, yo, I know it, I see it. It's really there. What's there? As some kind of a truth. But what does it consist in? Nothing. It consists in the fact that it represents the Motzei Rishon. This is a reality. This is what consists in. Let me step into this for a moment. If I have you with me, it seems to me that I do have you with me. The creation of the world occurred not because there is a Motzei Rishon. Motzei Rishon is an elam. Nothing occurs because Motzei Rishon is there. The creation of the world occurred because the Motzei Rishon said, "Let it be there." It's an active pronouncement, a decree. In other words, the whole mitzvah of the world is not because there is a Motzei Rishon. It is created by the Motzei Rishon. Being that it is the thing that is created by the Motzei Rishon means that there is not a fundamental presence. You say it has to be there. No, it doesn't have to be there. It is there because the Motzei Rishon decided to create it. This moment. The next moment it has to be decided again. This is the pshat that Chochmah is not a Metzias. And because the foundation of that Chochmah is that there is a Motzer Rishon, Mamtzi Kol Nimtza. The Motzer Rishon is Mamtzi Kol Nimtza. It's not that you go and grab the Motzer Rishon and you'll have Metzias. You can't, there's nothing to grab. It is a distinct decision on the part of the Motzer Rishon to create. Therefore, this Yisoid, this element, is a non-presence. There's nothing to grab onto. There's no real basis for the existence of the world, even after the world exists.
Wait, when we say Yisoid, it's Yisoid Elul. It's not. He said and then it existed. And what's Yisoid? It's an element of the world, so you think that means existence. Or no?
That's what we're saying. And that Yisoid is a non-entity. It is there because the Motzer Rishon says at this moment, let it be.
I'm getting that it's there because he said let it be, but I'm not getting it's a non-entity. Like you have the elemental table, all the elements, the chemical elements. So they're elemental, but they're actually there. Here we're having an element
because
that's not there.
So the real element, the real meaning of the word element, you say the elemental table, this is within a physical structure. But the meaning of Eish HaYisoidi, the elemental fire, the element, which are 4 elements. There is no fire in this. What are 4 elements?
Well, there is earth in this. If you burn this down, you'll get the ash.
When you burn it down and you get the ash, you have eliminated the Yisoid element of it. It's no longer a foundation of anything. Take the ashes and build a tree with it.
Fine, you
Well,
can reconstitute it, but I thought you'd reduce it
No. The principle of Yisoid, so it's a Yisoid HaYish HaYisoidi. Ein Echad Ve'ein Oyer. Again, let's step back and focus in what we explained just now. The Motzer Rishon Mamtzi Kol Nimtza. The Motzer Rishon is not compelled. It's not an automatic thing because it's Motzer Rishon. Therefore, there is a Metzias of the world. It is not so. Wait a second.
Yeah.
Which means that the Motzer Rishon is not the foundation of the world. Right? What is the foundation? What is the Yisoid? The Yisoid of the world is the will of the Motzer Rishon, or the command of the Motzer Rishon, which is a non-entity.
What's the non-entity? The command or
The command.
Motzer Rishon?
The command. The command is a momentary thing, right? The command. There's nothing compelling about it. A command exists one moment. This is what the Mashiach says. These words persist in me. It's being said all the time. Because there is not a continuous existence to it. There's nothing compelling inside the motivation that there should be a world.
When the Rambam says Yisod HaYisodos, he's referring to the Matarishan, not the command that there is a Matarishan.
No. Mamtzi kol nimtza. So Yeshua motivation mamtzi kol nimtza.
So it's the active piece.
Right. Mamtzi kol nimtza. He is mamtzi kol nimtza. And he is mamtzi kol nimtza not because it's something which he needs, because he's compelled to do it. He's motivation. He always remains motivation. Totally independent of existence.
Right. And we also seem to be saying something different. That is, these foundational elements, these four things, or basically any creation, whether it's an angel, Gabriel, or Michael, or whoever, have no inherent quality. Ish is not hot. That's where we started with. Which is, I thought once something's
No,
been
one
made-
second. The Eish is not hard, that's the Eish HaYisoidi. Then from that Eish HaYisoidi comes an element that becomes a part of a structure of a Metzius.
Oh, so in its initial creation,
In its initial state, it is not a Metzius.
it's so, say, ideal or whatever the case is. It doesn't have the sense hot. It has some other inner quality then we call it fire.
Right. It is not incorrect to say, although it is misleading, but Eish HaYisoidi is fire conceptually.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say it's not incorrect is, this is not for now at all, but we have to understand that everything that exists came through various rungs, various stages. And the stages, generally speaking, are there is, I said yesterday, there is the possibility for existence. The possibility for existence is already part of the creation. Like it says that there was a tzimtzum, the oir leki, the oir leki was nistalik, the tzimtzum, the nimtzum cholo lo mokum pom. Cholo mokum pom. This cholo, so we discussed this many times, especially mokum pom. Mokum pom means available space. Available space means it is a space that is ready to be occupied. There's a potential for mitzias. So in this available space, there's everything there. Everything is created in this moment.
That's post Yisod.
I'm sorry?
That's after the Yisod.
That this is what when you say it can be identified. From this can come mitzias. This can accommodate mitzias. In this itself, as we said, there is cholo and there is more component, two different levels and so forth. So to keep it focused on this thing, Eish HaYisoidi Sheinei Cham Ve'einei Oir. What is the point that the Rebbe is trying to tell us? This is not just a plain of words. It's not showing philosophical insight. The point is this: that fire and light have an initial reality, so initial reality that their base is not fire and not light. Their base emanates fire and light. somehow. How? Because the Creator said, okay, let it emanate a light. Let this light come forth. Let this fire come forth. But essentially, this is, in itself, it is not fire and it is not light. This is not dissimilar, although in totally different level. When your hand is at ease, does the koyach hatnu exist or it doesn't exist? Hello? Your hand is at ease.
Yes.
Huh?
It exists.
Is it active?
No.
If it were not active, the hand would dissipate. The koyach hatnu is what holds the hand alive. What is its active? What is its activity? It's active in an inactive state. It's eish, she'nei cham bein meir, bein yosh. I said this is illustrating the concept, but it's a much lower level because there is actually a koyach there. An active.
There seems to be a clear distinction.
This is why the hand is warm. If the koyach would not be active, then the hand would not be warm when it's in a passive state.
There seems to be a clear distinction though between the shemesh and the eish yesedi. Because when we talk about the shemesh, we say it's mushlov, any type of equation. There can't be darkness in the sun, and therefore it's not shaykh that there should be light. But when we talk about eish yesedi, if we say the qualities of eish are cham, so there's no heat in this elemental fire. So it makes sense why light would not come from the sun, because there's no darkness there. What does it need light for? But in Eish Yesedi there's no heat, so it kind of does make sense that heat should then emanate from Eish Yesedi. That from Eish Yesedi should be a mocker for something which is more of a put.
Why?
Because you can't say that in Eish Yesedi. If we say everything is merkav of the Dal Yesedi.
When we say that the sun is Eman's oil adayin. Actually, this is correct that you put it because it's adayin. Because the sun is like the hand, the koyach hayad. But it's not an active adayin, even though there is a koyach hayad active in it. That's why the word adayin comes in. But when you talk about the behirut be'etzem, Boy Be'etzem is not merely by the fact that it doesn't have darkness, so it doesn't need light. It doesn't consist in light, lahoyer. Okay, go ahead. So, Aisha, you say
but if we say like everything is composed of the Dal Yesodis, so within everything we have the element of fire, and yet we don't have cham in everything, right? So therefore it means that essential reality of heat is missing from Eish Yesedi, like the essential reality of light is present in the shemesh. So therefore it makes sense that Eish Yesedi should be a mocker for heat, because we don't see it there. As opposed to the shemesh, where we see it is the essential reality of light, and therefore it doesn't make sense. Why should I have air l'hayir?
I'm sorry, how do you say it should become a mocker for heat if it doesn't have heat?
No, it makes sense that it should become a mocker for heat l'poil, because we don't see where we know everything is composed in some quantity of Eish Yesedi, but not everything has the cham of fire. So therefore it makes sense it should be a makar for heat.
What do you mean by being a motor heat? How is it follow?
How does what follow?
How does it follow the fact that there is no heat in the air, therefore it makes sense that it should be a motor for heat?
Because we say it doesn't make sense that air should come from the shemesh, the higher, because there is no existence of darkness where the shemesh is. It's essentially light. It doesn't make sense that therefore light should emanate from it. It has no shaykhus to darkness. And therefore air lahayir is a strange thing to come from something which can't even relate to darkness. I'm thinking Eish Yesedi is cold. I mean, where it's present, it's still not hot. And therefore it makes sense that because it can identify cold.
But how does it know what fire is? How does HIC know what heat is?
I mean,
it has to emanate heat.
It does have heat.
How does it
have heat, but it's not the essential reality of heat, is what I'm saying. As
If
opposed to
it's
the
heat
sun.
and it's not hot, so in what way does it have heat? This is the point. The fact that from Asia say comes chaminus and oil is not a reflection of the Asia Yisraeli itself. It is mimenu. It comes from. Just as we just said a few moments ago. There's a motivation. Motivation is the search for all the things that exist. Is it automatic? Is everything there because there's motivation not true? Understand what I'm saying?
You're saying that the Asia Yisodi is parallel to the command?
Asia Yisodi
Is
capable to execute a command that is good. That's what Asia Yisodi is. Like we said, Mokum Pon, it allows for it. But it is not it at all. And yet from it emanates fire and light.
The nimshal of the excuse me. The nimshal of the Aisha Yesodi is etzem. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, well, this is what we're trying to, exactly right, trying to point out. There's etzem hanefesh, the atzmos, right? The main thing is etzem hanefesh is not nefesh at all, it's not chayis, and yet from it emanates a chayis. And then we go down and it says the same thing is true in the shemesh. And the shemesh can be understood from the principle of Eish HaYisrael. If you look back, the way we got into this is like this. We had the question about Atzmos, how does oil emanate from Atzmos? Which is completely removed of any Elul. So the explanation, Tzaddik explanation says, the Hini on do something similar on a lower level. Where is the lower? In the Nefesh. And then even lower in the Shemesh. And then even lower in the Eish HaYisrael. And the same dilemma comes up. If this is not fire, how does fire emanate from it? If this were fire, then it would burn up the whole world. And if it were light, then there would be no such darkness in the world, and there would be light everywhere. Because the element, the HIC, is present everywhere. This is what this is about. And I said the important message that I wanted to convey, and hopefully we understand. It's not automatic. From the Yisoid should come. There is a command. There's a solicitation from it. elicitation. And the motivation, the fact that the motivation does not automatically result in world. And this is why, I just want to finish this thing. This is Yesod HaChochmas. What is Chochma? Chochma is the Pshat. And from Chochma perspective, everything that you observe from Chochma perspective, you don't observe the physical present. You observe what is it about, what is its meaning. Which has a meaning. There's a motivation, and this came out from it. You know what I'm saying? Avraham Avinu was looking. There's Balabais. Who says there's a Balabais? There's a motivation from that evolved the mitzvahs of the world. Says the Balabais. Nobody's interested in what's going on. Bishop Shat. This is the reality that Chochmah observes is a reality, a meaningful reality. There's a real contact. There's real. I said many times. Chochmah does not see things monodimensional. Doesn't see it. When you see a wall, you don't see a wall. You see a house. The animals see a wall. A human being sees right away the full context, the full meaning of what it is. So you look at the world, you look at where you see a functioning, a meaningful structure. And that's what he says, what is the Balabais? This meaningful structure cannot occur by itself. It represents an intent. Where is the Balabais?
So I'm saying that because the or is not just automatic from the etzem, because it has to be a will or intentional, that intention is what gives it, what necessitates that it have a meaning, basically, because there's an intention. That's what Chochmah is. That's what Chochmah
identifies that.
And the reason why Chochmah is an experience of bittul is because that intention itself is basically there's nothing behind it.
Nothing compelling for you to be there. It's just he wants it, therefore it's there.
It doesn't. Chochmah doesn't reach to the atzim. It can't.
That's right.
Just accept.
Huh?
Just accept whatever it's given.
That's right. Okay, there's much to speak about. Just 1 or 2 points. Okay, we overstate. Welcome here, but let's go. Okay, I just wanted to say that regarding, first of all, tonight, the Shira in Mitzvah, everybody will come have Dav Ma'ariv, and Sunday we're going back to the old schedule.